Alrighty folks, what are we doing for today's adventure? It is gonna be this. We're gonna switch it up a little today. Plan to, gotta get that off. I wanna take the hood off. Pretty much, I just wanna pull the motor out. I have a transmission. I got like this NV 3500, which was on a Dodge, like a 318 or something, so I do not know a lot about Dodge stuff, but I am told that that should bolt up to this. So I don't know if the clutch is going to be the same, stuff like that. We'll see. My biggest thing is I just needed the transmission so we can actually, hopefully the starter, everything works on there. And if it doesn't, then basically I'm doing a lot of nothing right now. Anyways, yeah, hold on. I'm going to get the hood off of this thing and we'll see where we're at. All right, everything's there that I remembered. Oh, even got a chain. Mint. Okay, I'm gonna pull this out. We're gonna clean, or have a look-see, try to figure stuff out, and kind of get started. I ended up finding, we're gonna have to get a fuel pump hooked up, gotta do a bunch of things, but before I can do anything, I wanna basically get it out, bolt the transmission up, and see if this thing's actually, if it can crank over. That's my big thing. I do have a starter from said motor, but I think everything's going to be different because it is what it is. I think they're like an LS though, in the sense that you can actually bolt up a modern, like an older transmission to it, and it just bolts up apparently from everything I read. So yeah, let's see if this works. Well, now that sucked. Okay, let's see if what everybody tells me is true here. I just don't know. We'll find out. I'm gonna blindly smash this together and we'll see if the starter lines up, or I'm not worried about making the clutch work or any of this stuff. Our goal for today is just to see if I can crank this thing over. All right, for the moment, we're just setting a goal of whether I can just get this to bolt up to the motor. That to me would be a huge win. I don't know if anything's right. Oh, this thing's heavy. I don't know if this is a good choice or what. Golly, that thing's heavy. Like, it seems like it slides in. I just don't know if the pilot bearing's different size. All right. I guess we have to check that. Yeah, it seemed right. Okay. Well, we'll try without it. That's okay. We're just shooting for being able to start. Oh. Well, folks, this was the biggest hurdle. I actually think the stock starter would work on here. Like I say, I don't know anything about these things, so all I can tell you is we shall stick power onto what looks like the starter stud. We're doing nothing crazy here. We just want to see if this setup works. Oh. Right on. Okay. All righty. Very cool. That means we can now proceed to figuring out all the things we need to do, which includes we have, and it stinks of very old fuel when it fell over, but we'll have to get, you know what, I'm not even concerned about fuel just yet. I gotta figure the wiring out. If we can get it to run just even on spray, then I'm pretty happy. Nah, we should try to make it run. I need to build a run stand anyways, so like a temporary bucket. I think what I'm gonna do is grab like an old pail and try to mount a fuel pump into it so that I can put some gas in it, but it's a generic fuel pump that I could use for everything and anything out there. Would be pretty cool. I gotta find my wiring diagram. I found a schematic from an old site that disappeared. Somehow I managed to find it, and it had the printouts for how to wire these things. So I think I printed everything. There we go. We found. So I have a big schematic. I don't know. I think I have all the bits. I remember there was the site, and this is like the pinouts for the PCM and stuff like that. And it's kind of like they did with the LS stuff. So it goes trunk and it goes pin, what black connector and what it does. So yeah, I know it says for, oh, there's like a Dodge Ram, 06 to 08, 04, 05. Okay. I don't know. We're pretty much gonna just grab what I got here and see if I can make some sense out of this with that harness. It doesn't have to be perfect or nice right now. I just kind of want to just see if it works. But I'm gonna go puzzle through the motor here, see what I got, what everything is. We have our main, like I kept a lot of the harness, and I know some of the plugs don't matter because one of these is going to be for like the transmission, stuff like that. So yeah, I don't really know what I'm talking about yet. So I'll have to figure this all out yet. There's a lot of stuff here. All right, let me get this sorted out. So this I actually had went into the firewall, so somewhere in here is like my wiring for the gas pedal and things, but yeah, all of our grounds. Okay, I don't know. There's a lot happening. I'm gonna figure some stuff out. Well, I have been playing with this for a long time and have come to the conclusion I don't have the right software, I think, to do this. Which is kind of crappy because my brain likes to know that I can do everything myself, but I just don't have the technology for it. Okay, let me explain everything I've done. You see me just tearing apart the wiring harness. That part was not very scary at all, actually. Like that, I should say it scares people, but I think in the big picture, this is actually less work than an LS. provided, you know, it works. The hardest part for me is that stupid computer. I have like HP tuners, but from what I read, you just go in and then there's like this security. It's for the skim, like the key that's in the car. So I just hit disable, and or you know, there's like a skim disable, and then I hear you know, from what I've been reading, the percentage of that working is it's a crapshoot whether it actually works. You almost need a third-party app or have to send it out, and somebody with a tech tool can like disable that skim, which is, I can't remember what it's called, but it has to do with the key in the car. So the PCM is looking for that. Yeah, I don't know. My understanding, I do that, it works. I've read on the forums, they put the option in there, but it doesn't do anything. I've seen lots of videos where guys just do it and it works. So, and then finally I found one and it's like, yeah, it's kind of a hit and miss. Like some PCMs it works, some it doesn't. So I don't really know. I don't know, so I'm kind of hooped on that. I mean, if the kid gets some other trucks, I might just try the computers out of it before he scraps them just to see, you know? Or I gotta find somebody and then now it just costs me money for something, a really big, huge experiment. I mean, it's worth it, I gotta do it, but I don't know the means how I'm gonna do that. Regardless, as far as I understand, I've done everything right, so it's pretty straightforward. Yeah, there used to be a site called DIY Hemi, and it had like the LS printout like this. So it basically did the PCM right out. And from what I understand with a Dodge, is this, you have 3 plugs on there, and this is like a C1, blah, blah, C2, 3, that would be a C4, if I understand right. Anyways, this one has all your powers. This is all your engine stuff. This would be like the LS wiring harness. This has that. Well, they all combine, but this one has engine, this has that. This has gas pedal and a few things in it. So, because we cut the harness, most of the stuff, other than this one plug, most of the stuff comes out of this plug. So, if you want to really just simplify this, and once I get this thing running, I'll actually explain this all better, but for right now, I'm kind of hooped. Till I can find somebody that can actually like check my computer and see that that's right. And then we'll see if something's wrong elsewhere, but I don't really see it. I think what's happening is that's on and then the computer's just not letting things work because the security's on, right? So I can't test things. Like from what I read, I have the gas pedal here, it's wired up, like it's just kind of junkily wired up, but even when the power's on, I can't test the throttle. But from what I read with a Dodge, the throttle blade won't work unless the motor's running. You can't just free float it with the key off. So, yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna I could give you a really rough idea of what one of these, from my understanding anyways, entails to wire, and it really isn't that hard in comparison to, it's actually easier than an LS from my understanding here, if I did it right. The big thing you gotta know is all your grounds. Your grounds are all kind of one big plug, which is on the main one from the motor, so that's cool. When you come down off of, like this is the one plug that comes into PCM, so you're best to grab that. There's 3 power wires out of there. 1 is for the battery, and then 2 would be like ignition. Where do these all go? There's this thing called an ADS, which my understanding is that has to do with security, or if the motor thinks there's something wrong, it actually kills power to all the sensors and stuff and basically kills the motor. So out of there, normally there's 3 wires. This one only had the 2. And 1 just runs the negative of a relay, and the other one runs, like it actually feeds power back. I guess that just runs all of said stuff. For the most part, then you hit this plug, and that has your gas pedal wire. So I cut it, but everything actually, the colors all match up. They're all the same. And then through that same plug, you come back. I have, for some reason, there's some brake switches, which I guess if you're running the automatic, this is important, but because mine's a manual, it's not. But through there's a fuel pump relay, and we have our ODB port. So, you know, that's kind of it. All this wire is just going to get cut out. It's not needed at all. I mean, it really does break it down pretty straightforward. Again, this site doesn't exist anymore. I managed to find this on the Internet Archive, so this is kind of like, this went away. And somehow I managed to find it. But needless to say, you don't need that. I basically, what a feller needs is this page that goes through there. it tells you your main plugs, but it shows you the main plugs and this. And then when you get into here, there's only these couple steps that a feller needs to do. And I don't know if my thing will focus on here, but it goes in and you have basically, it goes on the C1 and there's only, you got pin 9, 11, 12 are powers, 18 is a ground, you know, yada yada. One goes to gas pedal, one is your constant power. And then you go to the next one and has a lot of gas pedal stuff, but it's really much simpler than an LS. Unfortunately, I can't make it fire, so I can't say that everything is working right. So that's a huge bummer. I have to source this out. So it was kind of like, it took me a long time running through the wire, going wire by wire and toning it out. That's what you're watching me do. I was going to the plug, toning, making sure. This thing actually told you what color the wires are and everything. So I mean, it wasn't bad. I don't know. I'll try to, if I can think this right, I'll put a picture into my video here just so somebody else could reference it, but you're gonna have to send your computer away, I guess. I'd like to be able to do everything in-house, but I don't know what to do. And that's just an added cost that I didn't really want. Anyways, I think I'm gonna have to do that. So unfortunately, I'm gonna sideline this thing and I'm gonna have to talk to some friends I got a couple buddies who have done these. So I'm kind of curious how they got around the skim thing. There's tons of people talking about it and I'm like, I'm sure I'm doing it right, but it sounds like it's an HP tuners thing. So it's usually you need to do that and then like you can turn it off on there, but there's a combo of somebody else like with a GM, a scan tool that needs to do it. The best I understand, without me rambling on, is you don't really disable the skim. It's just basically what happens with it is this. It has a security. If it detects it, it like links up with it. So it's always in a learning mode, but if it never sees it in a standalone, like what I'm about to do, it's just always just hunting for it, but it won't use it, if that makes sense. So I thought maybe I was trying some stuff on there, maybe I could put it into a learning mode, but it doesn't sound like, you know, HP tuners can do that. So I need some big dollar Dodge scanning tool to do it. So yeah, kind of poopy. That's a bummer. So I was planning just to get it running. That was my thing. And then I was going to kind of drop it in, or I wasn't going to drop it in. I just wanted to get it running. I was going to make I wouldn't say a run stand. I was just going to run it on the floor, but I was going to do a fuel pump and hook it all up. But yeah, that hasn't happened. So I guess that's about where I am going to call this one. It's a pretty short one. It's in relevance to this thing. I still haven't found a rack. If there's anybody local that has like, what are they now? You know, the 80s Cavalier that had the center steer? Hit me up. I can't find them. There's reproductions I found, rebuilt ones. They're all out of stock, and the ones I found are more than I paid for the car. So it's like, not really, but they're very, very expensive, and that's just not the way I want to go. So I do have another buddy that has Honda racks. Apparently Honda racks are sort of like that, so I might experiment with that. I was gonna just put the stock steering box back in the car, but it turns out that I am sure that starter and stuff is all gonna be in the way, so I'm kind of not able to do that. So for now, this thing is probably just gonna sit on a lift and up there, and hopefully I can find somebody local here that knows a little more than I do to make this work. Yeah, but once I figure it out, I'll basically go through this and bust this down. I've seen a bunch of videos and a couple of them are not bad, but I'm trying to find a much simpler way to explain it. Well, long story short, I guess that's where we're gonna leave it. I'm just gonna park this off to the side till I can source out or talk to somebody who knows what they're doing, or find couple more PCMs just to try. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that's what we're gonna do there. I think next round we're gonna play a little bit with the Studamino. I gotta see what I've all done and kind of get going on that thing and see if, I don't even know. I forgot where we left off, so I wanna play with that. This thing's not going away. Not going away. We're just taking a little break just so I don't burn out completely. Anyways, as always, folks, I wanna thank you for watching, and we will catch you on the next one. Later.